Alright lads, so before the video does begin, my guild Disorder is currently recruiting for new members. Feel free to message me your guild quest scores on Discord. We are looking for high scoring members, not necessarily having to beat every single new GQ, because as you'll see in this video, that has now become a increasing problem. But if you do think you can score well in guild quests, again, just feel free to message me on Discord. We are looking for a few new members. But with that said, today we're here to have a look at one of the newest characters in Bleach Brave Souls, that being the Christmas Menina. This is now her third character playable in this game, and the first time she's kind of been centered around guild quest content. Her first initial character was a Brave Battle unit, which was a bit disappointing for Menina fans, but let's be honest, if there was one Bambi to be a Brave Battle character, it's definitely the one that has the power as her script. And I guess in this case, it's kind of cool that we finally got a Menina in the power attribute. But the last one, the swimsuit one, throwback to this tweet by the way, she was a farming character. So this time, it's the first time we have a guild quest centered one, and unfortunately, Caleb didn't really do the best job here, and this is two problems that we are seeing with this character. One, it's what we see in her actual skill set. If we scroll down, as you'll see here, the character itself doesn't have any built-in strong attack damage. This is a problem that some characters do have. I'm not sure why it's still a thing. It's just nerfing the character a bit too much in my opinion, especially when you decide to take them outside of guild quest content where they only have Frontier +2. Instead, more often than not, when we do have a situation like this, for example, Swimsuit Yoruichi, they have Devastation at super high value, 80%. But that ultimately doesn't make up for the lack of strong attack damage increase, but in a way, what they do give to this character is more lacerate damage at 60%. And then through her EX skill, you do get an extra 25%. So it's not like she's lacking multipliers, she does have something extra. And as a character that can inflict lacerate, if we head over to her bonus abilities, for example, you can give her full stamina damage, and also damage to lacerated enemies, which does actually give a 40% bonus. So that's actually quite fortunate that she does have lacerate, but still, the lack of Berserker is definitely going to be noticeable with this character, especially outside of guild quest content where you aren't up against Soribirds. But one problem that we're also going to see that is kind of made worse with the fact that, again, Menina right now doesn't have any built-in strong attack damage increase, is that, like we have been seeing since the 10th anniversary has started, unfortunately, even months later, we're still experiencing this, but the GQ has too much HP. Caleb, what are we doing? What are we doing? Phase 1 wasn't that bad because we have a very powerful character with Bankai Renji, but even then, the HP was relatively increased like normal, right? Like we have been seeing, but explain why phase 2, a phase that has access to weaker characters, right? Right now, with Renji for the Ranged Quincy Guild Quest, it's one of the smoothest Guild Quest phases because Renji is one of the best damage dealing characters in the game. Why does phase 2 have more HP than phase 1? Menina can't handle that, especially at 1 out of 5, even maybe if you have duplicates. The idea, of course, is that you do want to use Menina and also Bambietta. So if you did pull Bambietta, that's going to be great, but I'm not liking this trend of a Knight character and SP character releasing so soon with each other, and also having the exact same attribute. That way they both deal damage against the final boss, and that kind of gives Caleb an excuse to give the enemies like so much HP in the extra waves. So with that said, let's actually try the quest. I don't think I can beat it, even with Menina, but we'll see how she can perform. So when it comes to the build, we are going with this particular build. We're going as much full stamina and also SP, strong attack damage, as possible. Again, with 1 out of 5 characters, ideally you do want to go with focus. I'm just sticking to SP for now. When it comes to Shunsui, fortunately for mine, he is max transcended. I could increase his attack a little bit more. And we did give him movement speed because the idea beforehand was just to clear content super fast. That's going to be a little bit of a struggle, so let's instead give him the Killer Sticker, more so the Masanga, with as much normal attack damage as possible. Now, this GQ phase does have Paralysis Plus, so we do need to make sure our characters can be fully immune, but fortunately for us, we do have Rukia on the team. Now, Rukia does have shared status immunity, so when she gets inflicted with Paralysis, she will share it to the other character, in this case, hopefully Shinsu, right? Unfortunately, though, this does mean that she herself cannot be fully immune, because she still needs that 100% resistance. So with that, we have given her a bonus ability and a link with Cayenne to give her that immunity to paralysis. Now, it would be cool if this team can work because we aren't really going with like a team synergy build right here. You would likely want to use Bambietta with Menina and then also Foreign Gremmy for the team support that he does give to Quincy's. We might want to do that, but I don't know if we can afford to bring a support character right now. Maybe I should. Then again, because to be fair, Menina will be doing most of the damage, but let's see how it goes. So SA2, into the 3, into the 1, Damage didn't look super high here. We do have access to a EX move and superior strong attack too, which is nice. Again, really impressive for a mid-month character, but not so much when you don't have any built-in Berserker. But we are going quite fine right now. Shouldn't be... It kind of feels like he's carrying right now, truth be told. What does the EX do? I forgot. It's like... It was just AoE around her. SA 3 into the 2. Some leftover enemies, so this is kind of annoying. But we are inflicting the lacerate, so that's actually pretty good. And then also, Rukia can inflict status ailments too, to stop the enemies from attacking if for some reason we don't inflict any status ailments. So get out the way. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to waste time using strong attacks here to take down some of these enemies. And in this case, we actually ended up killing the main boss before even killing the mob. So you definitely notice the lack of strong attack damage there. Had she been given strong attack damage increase somewhere in her kit, we likely wouldn't have much of a problem with the actual small enemies. But now we get to do a bit more damage here because we do have attribute advantage. Where is the boss? We fortunately did inflict lacerate. Let's try and get out the way. We don't want to take any hits here. We did take a hit there, unfortunately, so that does ruin the run a little bit. But it looks... This is tough. Like, again, I have Benigna. Technically, I should be able to easily clear this, right? That's the problem with this whole new GQ change. Is like, you need two characters. You need the Nat character. You need the SP character. Before getting the SP unit, just 1-5 was normally enough to carry you. And I think that was a much better situation than what we are in right now. So, Benigna is just one of those characters again. Albeit does have problems because she does lack Berserker. But it's something that we are seeing with this character, like we saw with Swimsuit Nini, like we saw with Blood Ward Nemu. They're good units, but you don't really get to feel like that because the HP has been increased to ridiculous numbers. Shouldn't be like this, guy. Should not be like this. So, with that in mind, maybe in this case, I want to switch Rukia out and go with Gremmy, maybe? Would love to use Nanao here, but Nanao's not really going to provide much, to be fair. I mean, to be fair, I also could do that. So let's actually try that. Let's see a solo Benigna run, if we possibly can do that. So let's just give Grammy as much recharge as possible, right? His build doesn't really matter. He's just there for the 20 side and also the 30% more damage. And then, I feel like it's going to be a waste taking off Shinsui, to be fair. But let's go ahead and put on Nanao. Now, Nanao isn't going to give us a 30% boost, but she is going to, or technically she is. She's giving us a 30% SP boost. Or 30% more SP on top of what we do have. We're also providing barriers, heals, so that might help us out. And then with that, let's make sure to give her the Mugetsu soul trait, a last-ditch survival soul trait, just in case she does die. I don't think she will. And then we'll just throw on Toshiro too, because it doesn't really matter. So now with this team, we're getting 30 SP, we're getting 40% strong attack damage, and 30% more SP. Now, that would normally be enough, but I don't think right now Benigna has the capabilities of being able to solo this particular guild quest. But let's see how it goes. So you definitely do notice the damage increase here. Let's SA1 now. Kind of wanted to wait for the strong attacks to come back. SA1 into the 2. Too bad damage is actually looking a lot better. I am liking this a bit more. Let's just sub them now. And that was kind of a waste. Actually, no, we do have an SP boost. We're fine. Might want to save my SP boost for the... Sorry, the sub for the final boss. But the enemies are all over the place right now, man. This is terrible. Wasted so many strong attacks there. I kind of want to restart the run right now just because of that one wave. Because the enemies on the side, especially when you don't have killer against them. Fortunately, earlier this year, we did see a good change in guild quest that allows these characters to deal 5 times more damage. Originally, it was always 3 times. So we are dealing more damage technically, but at the same time, we are now clearing slower. But I feel a lot more comfortable with this particular team, to be fair, because the damage was good. So if we do actually clear the first 5 waves a little bit faster, we might be fine here. Let's use our normal attack string, because we should be able to inflict status ailments. No? It took that many strong attacks to inflict a status ailment? That is tragic. But the damage was good there, though. Like, we're almost 2-shotting. Maybe 3 or 4 strong attacks, to be fair. It's a decent attempt. Considering how bad that run went, we kind of went to the same point. We're technically worse off there, but I do feel a bit more comfortable with that. So we're definitely going to stick to this team. It's a cool end pose, by the way. Alright then, so let's try that again. So the first boss is going to be the weakest boss for us. Or the strongest boss, more so, because it is a speed enemy. Maybe I should have given then now some chappies to at least deal potentially some damage. But the barriers are really helping out here because we don't want to take any damage here. Okay. Going into Senju, let's use our EX. Just to get that lacerate proc. Let's use our 3. And then use our 1. Again, unfortunately, the enemies on the side here are taking a bit too much damage. But to be fair, we did need time to spare to use our strong attacks, or for our strong attacks to come back. Okay, decent damage. I think everyone's been taken care of. Does seem like it. There we go. SA1. Into the 3. Okay, looks like all the enemies are taken care of again once more. Looks same clear time. To be fair, not any faster. Might need a couple more resets to get a better score. But we should be good here, right? We should be much better in this particular stage. Because then we do more damage. Alright, here we go. SA2. Okay, unfortunately, I lost my SP boost. I think the last rate is still proc. You don't want to waste any strong attacks here. There we go. Nah, it's still around the 3rd enemy no matter what we do. Because we can sub them here. We do a bit of damage, but... yeah, I'm not liking that. I'm not liking that. Again, when it comes to guild quests, newest characters always scored higher, for the most part, right? Maybe there was some rare case where a new character didn't outperform the old one, but you just don't get that satisfaction anymore. You just don't get that satisfaction for clearing the GQ with a new character. Because someone might have the mindset right now, they pulled for Meninya for this GQ, and you can't even beat it. So you kind of just wasted orbs if you pulled Meninya, because... we can't even beat it. We can't beat it. What's going on? So let's go ahead and try this as our final team. The idea now is that we are going to rely on Shunsui for more normal attack damage support because you do need a normal attack damage character. Unfortunately, again, I do not own Bambietta. So in this case, I have given him the same build, but I now have level 14 attack. Maybe that will help us out. And then we are also now throwing on Nanao. Nanao is going to give Shunsui more damage, but also give us more SP. So we're more so buffing Shunsui here, to be fair. But, you know, maybe that's what we need right now because... we need all the damage we can get. If this doesn't work, I'm probably going to take the score that I get as my best score and just take the L, which is crazy to say because, again, I did pull the newest character. So you don't normally expect that, but let's see how this does go. Shunsui should now lock in. He's now using his strong attacks. You'd love to see it. I mean, his normal attacks. Let's SA3. Into the 1. There we go. SA2. Into the 1. Definitely a lot better when you have Shunsui in the team. This is looking a lot more promising. Right now, though, a bit slow. SA1 isn't the greatest for Meninya, I will be honest, because we just did a whole lot of nothing with that strong attack 1. SA2, we're just going to use all strong attack we can get. Might as well use the EX just in case. Because right now, against Ichibei, we shouldn't have much of a problem, but it's still around the same clear time, around 17 seconds to go. Maybe we'll be a little bit faster. Literally, no matter what team we do, we're clearing with 17 seconds to spare. Nothing changing in the team has changed our clear time. Granted, maybe one run got a lot more luckier, maybe one got worse, like, I don't know. Okay, there we go. First boss done. I think we inflicted the last rate. That's good. We have the barrier too, so that's nice. Let's try and stand still so Shunsui can actually get his attacks in. Now, it's still going to be only the 3rd boss. We might actually get into the 4th boss with this one. We can kill fast enough here. Doesn't seem like it. We still need more cooldowns. We still need overall more damage. So, yeah. You know, like I said already, Meninya is definitely lacking in the strong attack damage department, which hurts a lot. But to be fair, that wouldn't be much of an issue if this GQ didn't have over 2 billion HP. It's like, why does this GQ have more HP than Phase 1? Phase 1 has access to Renji. I would understand giving this GQ like 4 billion HP because it's Renji. He can handle that. Meninya right now cannot handle that. She cannot handle that. And I don't have Bambietta, so I'm not sure how it would be if you had Bambietta but no Meninya. I assume you might be in a much better position though, to be fair. Because Rukia and also Mayuri doesn't seem too bad as leads, truth be told. Especially Mayuri, by the way, it's worth mentioning. This GQ does have Paralysis Plus, but remember, Mayuri has traps. he has a trap strong attack 3, which removes status augment pools on the floor. So unironically, one of the counters to paralysis plus or status augment plus as a whole is trap strong attack 3s. Unfortunately, we don't see that all too often, but my Yuri, if you were using him as your lead, you can actually work around not having 200% resistance, because he can just remove the pulls on the floor, which is kind of cool. But either way, that's the video for today, trying out the new Menina. Again, unfortunately, I think Brave Souls kind of felt her. Not enough strong attack damage built into the kit, but most importantly, the GQ having way too much HP to the point that it kind of makes Menina look like a mediocre character. And for a new character release, I don't think you want the player base feeling like that. So K-Nub, you need to do better.